This video is brought to you by the 3-Minute Board Game patrons. Keep us independent by supporting us on Patreon. Kia ora koutou and welcome to Oceans in about 3 minutes. It has no solo mode. It's a game for 2 to 4 players, playing time is medium, and it's a moderately complex game. Life started in the ancient oceans of Earth as single-celled organisms that kept evolving. What creatures will you and your competition evolve into in order to win this game? The game ends once all the fish in these 4 areas have been taken. The winner is the player with the most points, and you get those for fish you have saved and fish on your boards. Card management. There are 2 main different types of cards to manage, surface and the deep. Engine building. This game is all about building animals that work well together. Player turn. Grab fish for the number of players and mix them into 4 roughly even piles, then put those piles in these 4 sections. The leftmost one is the reef and the other 3 are parts of the ocean. Then pick 2 random scenario cards. Blue ones are constant effects, and purple ones trigger each time one of the boxes of fish runs out. Once the first ocean spot runs out, the Cambrian explosion will take place, which changes a lot of the game's core rules. Each player starts with a hand of 6 surface cards. These represent traits for species. The green is their foraging value, red their attacking value, yellow their defensive value, and blue how much food they gain when a certain condition is met. This green symbol means this animal cannot forage, and this card here provides a special ability. Finally, you can have cards that are almost identical, but in this case, they target opposite directions. On your turn, you will start by playing a card. This can either be to a totally new species, in which case you attach it to one of these sideboards, or you can add a card to an existing species. No individual species can have more than 3 trait cards unless the game says otherwise. Instead of playing a card onto a species, you can discard a card to move the marked number of fish from the reef or an ocean to a different location. Once you reach the midpoint of the game, you can play 2 cards in this phase. After playing a card, you can now choose one of your species to feed. You can either take the green amount from the reef if possible, or the red amount from another species, minus their defensive value. Some traits will mean you can avoid being targeted at all. If feeding would take you to this point, overpopulation occurs. Discard your population down to 5. Then you must age all your species, moving 1 population behind your screen, 2 after the Cambrian explosion, and more with some traits. Fish behind your screen are stored points. While aging, if your species hits 0 population, it dies out. Your species can have 0 population in other players' turns though. You may then discard and draw up to 6 cards, and select a single deep card, either from the 2 face-up ones or by drawing 3 and keeping 1. Deep cards are unique and powerful traits that can only be played after the Cambrian explosion. Each has a cost in its bottom left, which is in fish taken from behind your screen and placed back in the waters. Aside from that, deep cards are played like any other. Why would you like this game? Oceans is a sequel to a game called Evolution, and that's exactly what the game is about, evolution. What makes Oceans tick is how your species will evolve traits based on what your opponents are up to. If the fish next door is a giant predator, defensive measures will pop up. And if a neighbor's a gigantic filter feeders, well, it's just a bit easier for all involved to get free food by becoming whale feeders. And that achievement of making the gameplay represent the concept of competitive evolution while being practical and pragmatic decisions you make for the purposes of scoring points within the game is absolute gold. And while the game isn't the most complex, I think it might be a little nasty in places for family game night, and would definitely recommend it for mature gamers. Oh, best thing about this game is the deep cards. Everyone is unique and paradigm shifting. However, futzing about with all those fish can be a right annoyance, and the oceans and reef boards are just finger traps. It's a trivial thing, but it annoys me. Also, the game is low-key brutal as heck. People can and will eat your species off the board if you let them, so be prepared to evolve some thick skin if you play it. For a different take on evolution, try Darwin's Choice. And for more about Darwin, try The Origin of Species. Oceans, the real intelligent design. Gold medal game. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the notification button, like, share, and subscribe to the channel.